What does God's voice sound like? Hey, what's up? It's Patrick. It's Rose via Fire. And I pray this message reaches who it needs to reach. So let's talk about what does God's voice sound like? You know what I'm saying? And to begin off the message, I might just say this right here, right? God is a spirit. You know what I'm saying? So God has a spiritual voice. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to be using like driving as an example to really explain what God's voice sounds like. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, let's get right into it. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that I like to say, bro, is that God's voice travels. You know what I'm saying? By God's voice being a spiritual voice, it does things that our regular human voices cannot do. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about it. Let's say you was to scream out loud, bruh. You screaming out loud. Your voice can only travel so far, bro. You get what I mean? Your voice can only travel so far. And it can only travel in a certain like format. You know what I'm saying? Your voice is gonna travel when you yelling on the top of your lungs. Let's say like you're screaming outside and you're screaming to the best of your ability. Your voice is gonna travel only so far. Meaning, like, let's say there's people standing where literally like there's that point where your voice is not gonna be heard no more. You get what I mean? It's like if people is like so far away, bro, they ain't even gonna hear you. So it's like, bro, and then your voice travels in a certain way. But when it comes to God's voice is a spiritual voice. It doesn't travel the same way our human voices travel. God's voice could literally control stuff, bro. God's voice could control the lights. It could control the TV like a remote, bro. It could literally go into stuff. You know what I'm saying? God's voice could literally walk and go through stuff. God's voice could do a U-turn. You know what I'm saying? God's voice, bro, like that's what I'm saying, bro. So before I even explain what God's voice sounds like, I gotta kind of like break it down in the basics. God's voice could literally do a U-turn. God's voice could reverse. Know what I'm saying? God's voice could like jump over stuff, and then like, bro, God's voice could literally could go inside of like a light and make it like start flickering, bro. You know what I'm saying? God's voice could literally God's voice could literally go into like a person and literally he's speaking through them, bruh. So it's like God's voice could damn near like it could go into anything, bruh. Literally God's voice could go into anything that he chooses, bruh. And he could literally speak through all these different things, bro. That's where like the signs come from. The signs from God. That's literally God's voice like going into signs, bro. God's voice could speak through a movie. So like that's like God's voice going into the movie, like going into this thing. Like, so God's voice travels, you know what I'm saying? But like I was saying, bro, let's get back to that driving example, right? So let's say you and God, bro, you know what I'm saying? God is like, let's say God is picking you up, bro. God is like, hey, bro, I'm picking you up. We gonna take a ride through the city, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you, bro, God is ready, bro. God is like driving with one hand, bro, on the steering wheel, bro, just cruising, bro. God is cruising for real. So God is like, hey, bro, hop in the car, bro. You know what I'm saying? And then like you hop in the car in the back seat. God is like, I see right through your heart. I respect your humility. You feel as though you're not worthy to sit right next to me in the front seat, bro. You feel as though you're not even worthy. But for this one time, bro, come over to the front seat, bro. Sit right beside me, bro. So you go over to the front seat, bro. Look at you smiling from ear to ear. How is that possible, bro? So now I'm talking about like you sitting right next to God, bro, and God is just leaning back, driving with one hand, bro, cruising through the city. Now you sitting in the front seat next to God, bro, and now you're smiling from ear to ear. I gotta drink some water for this, bro. Hold on. So you mean to tell me you smiling from ear to ear? Because you sitting right next to God, bro? You smiling from ear to you love the Lord like this? Bro, I'm telling you, you love the Lord, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm telling you, bro. Hey, bro, I'm telling you, bro. You're gonna be on the you're gonna be in the Metropolis newspaper, bro. I'm telling you, you're gonna be like, hey, bro, this person was sitting right next to God with the biggest smile on their face, bro. Congratulations, bro. We like that one, bro. That one loves the Lord right there. But look though, that one loves the Lord, bro. They smiling from ear to ear. They sitting next to God, bro. God is just leaning back, just driving with one hand, bro. It's like just cruising through the city, bro. I'm like, bro, I be smiling from ear to ear too, man. I'm telling you, ain't even alone, bro. You ain't even alone, bro. But look though, so now God is teaching you about his voice. So look though, as you talking to God, you know, y'all just having a conversation. God is driving through the city. He's driving through the city at night, bro. You know what I'm saying? You see all these street lights and all these things, you know, these buildings, and you know, God is just driving you through the city. You know what I'm saying? And God is starting to teach you about his voice. So you talking to God, he's talking to you. You know what I'm saying? You see his mouth moving, and you could hear his voice. You could hear like his audible voice. You could see his mouth moving, and you could hear his audible voice. And you understand what he's saying. Okay, cool. As God keep driving and you sitting right next to him, it's like you start to like, you still see his mouth moving, but there's no sound. You don't hear any sound, bro. You don't hear his audible voice anymore. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you could still see his mouth moving, like he's talking to you. You're like, God, bro, I don't hear you. Like, I don't hear your voice. I could see your mouth moving, but I don't hear your voice, God. What's going on? See, God is teaching you how to hear his voice now. God is like, okay, let me see if they're going to figure it out. You know what I'm saying? So, as you're sitting next to God, bro, and God is talking to you, his mouth is moving, but you don't hear any sound, bro. You don't hear his audible voice anymore. All of a sudden, you start to see like a street light, bro. You know what I'm saying? You start to see like a street light that's moving at the same pace as his mouth is moving. Like, it's like in sync with like what his mouth is moving, bro. And then you see the light kind of like flickering in the street light. You're like, wait, hold on. You talking, but it's like the street light, you're talking through the street light. It's like your voice, I can hear it audibly, but I can see the street light like just going on and off. You know what I'm saying? I can see the street light just flickering, flashing, whatever you want to call it, bro. So okay, so you're speaking to me through the street light, bro. Now you're trying to teach me like some sign language. Like what are you, Lord, what are you saying, bro? I don't understand what, if the street light goes off like 5 times, what does that even mean, bro? You know what I'm saying? What does that even mean, bro? And as God is talking to you, you start to understand that a lot of times when God is speaking to you through signs, you know exactly what he's saying within your soul, bro, within your spirit. Your eyes can see the sign, but your soul knows the interpretation to what you see. You might not be able to, you see the sign, but in your heart, God tells you what that sign means. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times that's how God moves. God will show you a sign with your eyes, but he will tell you what that sign means within your heart or within your soul or within your spirit. You know what I'm saying? So you start to catch on and be like, okay, so sometime when God is speaking, the street light is going to start flickering. It's going, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I got it, God. I got it. I see what you're doing. I got it. So now now when his mouth is moving, he's talking, you don't hear any sound, you're looking for the street light to go off. It doesn't go off. You be like, God, what's going on, right? The street light is staying normal. There's not flickering anymore. There's not blinking anymore. Like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call it, blinking, flickering, flashing, whatever you want to call it. The street lights is not doing that anymore. So what's going on? Like, you speaking, I don't hear any sound. but your mouth is moving. Your mouth is moving, but I don't hear any sound. But like the lights are still not going on. So it's like, bro, you start to be like, damn, what's going on, Lord? Like, what's going on? And then he started to just speak through like, let's say you're driving through like this, let's say like you're driving through a big city and there's this big screens and this and that. So now God is speaking through like the screens, bro. Know what I'm saying? It's almost like how he speak through movies and stuff. So now like you can't hear his sound when his mouth moves, but like now you start to pick up like signs within like the imagery within the screens, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know how those, you know, when you're like in a big city, like there's these big screens that have all these words and signs and this and that, bro. They pretty much showing like different videos or whatever, but he's starting to speak to you like that. So now it's like, bro, okay, I see what you're doing. Now it's like his voice, it's like God's voice be traveling, bro. God's voice be traveling. It's like, it's almost like God's voice is always like cruising, bro. You just gotta pick up where he's at. You can't expect him one way. He gonna come speak to you through another way. You can't expect him to speak to you through the screen. He gonna speak to you through a person. Know what I'm saying? So now you're sitting right next to God. God is driving and somebody come, let's say like he parks the car, but he's still speaking to you. You can't hear his audible voice anymore. And then somebody come knocking on the car and then they tell you something. And then you start to realize, okay, that's God speaking through this person to me. Like God, why are you always switching it up? Like, why are you always like speaking through like different ways, bro? You know, like, it's like, bro, that's just his style, bro. Hey, bro, you know how everybody has like a different, let's go back to like writing. You know, like how writers, people who write books and stuff, they have different writing styles. Well, God has a different talking style from us humans, bro. God talk different, bro. He talk through different things. That's just how he is. We can't change that, bro. We cannot change how God wants to talk, bro. He wants to talk through everything, bro. God wants to talk through everything, bro. He don't want to talk through just one thing, bro. He wants to talk through everything. And he wants you to follow along, bro. When he cruising, bro, driving, bro, he wants you to pick up. Okay, you got to be alert now. Okay, now you think I'm going to speak to you through all these outside sources? Nah, I'm just going to speak directly from my mouth, bro. I'm going to speak. Now you're going to hear me again. I'm like, okay, now I hear you again. Then you'll be like, okay, what's your favorite way that God speaks to you? You know what I'm saying? Then that question starts to arise. What's your favorite way that God speaks to you? A lot of people, I'm going to keep it real with you. A lot of people like when God speaks to them in an audible voice. You know what I'm saying? Some people like when God speaks to them through signs. Some people like when God speaks to them through other people. What's your favorite way that God speaks to you? But then at the end of the day, he always going to switch it up. He always going to like speak through different things, bro. And when you're going back to the question, like, what does God's voice sound like, bro? God's voice sounds like, it almost sounds like this. It almost sounds like a wind, bro. It sounds like this breeze, bro. It sounds like almost like it's almost like a gentle, cool breeze, bro. It sounds like a wind, bro. And it just like keeps moving into like different things. You know what I'm saying? And one thing that I've noticed about God's voice is that a lot of times when he speaks to you through signs outside of you, outside of your body, he also like gives you a feeling inside of your body and inside your soul, bro. So it's like what you're seeing outside of you as he's speaking to you through like a person or through a movie or through that, he also sends you like a feeling in your heart or in your soul that will confirm it. And that feeling be like it's almost like a very beautiful energy, bro. Like it's like this beautiful energy within your heart and within your soul, bro. And it's so deep within, bro. You can't grab it. You can't. It's like this intangible feeling, like so deep within. And it's like literally confirming that sign, bro. Because it's as though that feeling that you feel deep within your heart and within your soul, it's literally a part of God's voice that you're seeing with your eyes as you're seeing all these different signs. It's one. So when you see that sign outside of you, it gonna activate that feeling within you, bro. When God speaks to you through a sign outside of you and you're looking at it outside with your eyes and you're looking outside of you, maybe like he's speaking to you through like a movie or through a person or through a bird or through a street sign or through something. That sign, almost like a lot of times what I've noticed is that it's going to activate God's voice within you. It's going to activate that feeling, bro. Like this beautiful, like, it's almost like an airy, like wind, bro. It's like a cool breeze, bro. It's like a gentle, like beautiful feeling that it will activate within you, bro. You know what I'm saying? And that's how God's voice sounds like, bro. And I try to break it down the best way that I can, bro. But let me look at my notes real quick, actually. Yeah, I mean, like God's voice keeps moving, bro. It keeps moving. It keeps switching. It keeps moving and it keeps switching. And it just keeps doing that, bro, because God is just like, he's too big and he's too diverse. He has too much, what's that word? Diversity. To whereas he just gonna keep moving. His voice keep moving. His voice keep like showing up in different forms. It's like water, bro. His voice is like the living river of life, bro. His voice is like the river of life. It just keeps on taking on different forms, just like water. It's moving, it's taking on different forms, different shapes, all types of things. But one thing that I've always noticed is that as it's moving and you're looking at it outside, bro, outside of your body, you're looking at it with your eyes outside of your body, there's always, this is my personal experience, there's always that feeling. It's like you're gonna feel his presence connected to his voice. It's almost like that feeling within you and that sign that you're seeing with your eyes outside of you, they are twins, bro. They are connected. It's like both of them is God's voice. It's like he's speaking within you and outside of you at the same time, bro. You know what I'm saying? He's speaking within you and outside of you at the same time. And when the signs, like when God's voice within you and God's voice outside of you, like when I say outside of you, I'm talking about the signs that you see outside of you, or God is using somebody to talk to you. It's like, bro, they're gonna connect. The voice of God inside of you and outside of you, it connects, bro. It just confirms each other, bro. It's like a twin, bro. It's like, I don't know how to explain it, bro, but bro, that's how God's voice sounds like, bro. You know what I'm saying? But that's pretty much everything that I wanted to say, man. You know what I'm saying? Feel free to reach out to me on my website. And also feel free to check out the open chat rooms page on my website as well, man. You know what I'm saying? Peace.